Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Mr. Robot. Last time on Mr. Robot, we had EPS 2.7 underscore init underscore 5.fve. Well, Elliot got out of jail and went to Darlene and Cisco, and he decided to meet with someone from the Dark Army because he wanted to know what Stage 2 was, but they were confused because Stage 2 is actually his plan. Darlene has been intercepted by a group of unknown origin. Angela probably did something, but I can't remember. And there's something going wrong with Elliot and Mr. Robot. That's it. That's all I got. I'm really trying to remember last episode, but I can't. So that's about the best I got. So it covers most of it, I think. Yeah, that's basically that. So let's go ahead and get into this episode of Mr. Robot. Here we go.
The lights have been flickering.
Oh yeah, that.
Street lights.
You do work at E-Corp.
Oh yeah, all that stuff
Best
happened.
case scenario, that dream I had when I was being drowned.
Oh yeah,
Stop fighting it.
Joanna.
That's when I survived.
Anyway, I need you to see our friend.
A
Winston
friend.
Campbell.
In my life, as I was making my way, I always asked the question, am I the most powerful person in the room? The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of one.
One.
Or two.
Two.
The standard of which was set by God when he created the earth and man after his own image. Anything less is not worth mentioning.
Okay then. That is a God complex, I believe.
I asked him what he would do to get me those earrings. He told me he would do whatever was necessary. I told him I wanted him to fuck that woman and bring me her earrings.
Did he?
The next morning, I woke up to a gift.
No.
That's why he sent me this phone.
Huh.
Because he's doing what's necessary.
He may actually be alive.
Talk to him.
We haven't spoken. He's protecting me. That's what you do for your partner.
So, who are you talking to?
Do you really want to say no to me?
Is this a trick question?
Wait, where did he come from?
I found him gasping on the couch.
And you brought him here.
I wasn't gonna fucking leave him there. He was saying your name. I figured he was one of your guys.
Vincent! Vincent!
Oh, okay. So, he was
What is
there
wrong with him?
at the
What am
door.
I supposed to know?
I can't risk him talking.
And what?
He knew what he was getting himself into.
She's gonna let him die.
If we don't get him help right now, he's gonna die. Jesus, you're completely fucking losing it.
You know,
want to act like you're on top of things, but you're not. You're buried way underneath.
when Dark
You're not
Army
a
Man
leader.
has to tell you not to be a
You're
murderer.
not special. Yeah, you guys did the hack, but you fumbled your way into this ridiculous freak accident. That ain't leading. It's time to drop this charade like this was all part of the plan and wake the fuck up!
Yeah.
Is this the future I was fighting for? Did we lose the fight? Maybe wars aren't meant to be won. Maybe they're meant to be continuous. Maybe Ray had it right all along.
Huh.
Who do you think's making those calls?
Her husband's the most wanted man in the country.
I would be so worried that I'm accidentally talking out
By
loud.
association.
The phone. It's the one Joanna gave me. Tell tell me you heard that too?
I did. It was
Can't be
creepy.
him, can it?
I don't know.
And why is Mr. Robot suddenly gone?
Oh shit, you're right. Where is he?
Keep going.
Okay. Did take him to a hospital.
Elliot, I could have just dropped him off at the door. You didn't have to.
I couldn't just leave him. I need to be here.
Okay. She's at least getting better.
It's Elliot. He's the one with the plan.
If he could remember
The
it.
one they're taking seriously.
She wants to be the successor.
It was my dad's idea of an Alderson family outing.
What are you doing? Making a high-powered antenna. Need to piggyback off someone else's Wi-Fi.
I remember
Okay.
looking up at the... All of a sudden, I felt someone grab me around the waist and pick me up. It was this old woman. And we went to Nathan's, and she said that I could have whatever I wanted. My parents
Okay.
never asked me what I wanted. Ever. It was the first time I
Okay.
really felt special.
When this
We
fucking
started
lady
driving
kidnapped
to her
you?
house, and she showed me my room, and it had one of those beds with the curtains around it,
Uh-huh.
and I did feel like a princess.
Okay.
I remember thinking that this is my new home and my new life, and I didn't have to see my parents ever again. It's like a wish I had that all of a sudden came true.
Huh.
And sure enough, the next morning I was still there.
Oh.
But then the police barged in.
Yeah.
I still wonder what my life would have been like if I had stayed. But if I had stayed, then I wouldn't have Elliot.
Instead of hacking the carrier, if the situation's urgent enough, you can just ask them to track a block call for you.
Guy's gotta fax it over.
No one in the world uses fax anymore except cops.
Oh, yeah.
Half of me wants it to be him.
The other
Half of
half?
me doesn't.
Okay. It's an interesting thing to say,
Before working.
Can you feel it?
Mr. Krabs.
Good. That gives us time to talk.
Hey.
Is Mr. Robot MIA because he's afraid?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Afraid of what I might find when I'm done with this hack?
That would be
Why
interesting.
did that phone call freak him out? Do you remember the last thing he wanted?
I don't
He
know.
kept wanting to come back home, remember? There must be something here that he needs.
Yeah.
He's been bringing it up since we left prison.
To go home.
Can you help? Do you see anything?
Not particularly. It's so dark in here. We're gonna get like a Mr. Robot jump scare or some shit.
Yeah, all of them came in blocked. Perfect. Can you see if it's one of yours? Can you ping that phone for a current location?
Man. His impression is not the greatest,
You've
but
been a huge help. I'll call you if there's something else.
you got what he needed. Found him.
Got it.
God damn it.
Nah. Didn't want to find it.
Is it him?
Whoop. Oh, the FBI got to Cisco's place.
Trust me. He wouldn't be calling from that house.
What's that house?
Has issued a BOLO on the man pictured in this sketch. Given FBI cyber involvement, we can only speculate
No.
at this time that
Uh-oh.
the man in this sketch may be wanted in relation to the infamous 5/9 attack.
Oh, they went to a place without a TV. Oh, hey, Angela.
Why did you start Up Society? That's a pretty big question. It's probably because Janice turns it to the news when her shift starts.
Yeah.
TV, they're coming back.
They are going to come back.
I can't keep pretending like this is gonna go away. We can't beat them. Trust me, I've tried. No matter what we do, we will always lose to them. I'm gonna tell them that I planted the femtosol.
Oh, shit. Well, that's not good.
We have to talk to each other on the subway. It's a long way from getting high and watching Back to the Future, too.
So specific.
Yeah, we never did get around to doing that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. God, I remember that now.
You were pacing and screaming at the staff because they couldn't see whoever you said you were seeing. Was it your dad then too, or was it someone else?
Huh.
I don't remember that at all.
Wow.
Elliot, I don't know.
Someone
if you
before
started all
Mr.
this because
Robot.
of him.
Oh, shit. Oh, who the hell was that? Damn it. She found him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, God. They're not coming fast enough, are they? Whoa! Woo! Great job. And guess who just showed up? Oh, that guy bailed. Woo! Oh, damn. Oh, boy. I feel like 25 things happened, none of which I could describe to you. Oh, boy. Alright, like I said, I feel like a lot has just happened, but I don't know how to explain this. I feel like a lot of things happened, but if you truly asked me what just happened, I don't know if I could tell you half of it, you know? Like I could tell you, okay, Mr. Robot is currently missing. He's MIA. He's gone right now. Okay, why? It's a good question. Who were those people that were there on the train with Angela? I don't know. But I know that there were people there. I know that there were people there with Angela. If you want to think about, like, if you want to maybe speculate, I guess, maybe you could say maybe they were Dark Army because they don't want her to confess, you know? They're probably not FBI. She was on her way to the FBI. So, I would imagine they're either... Well, I was going to say they're maybe Dark Army or... Dark Army or E, but I doubt they would be E. You know? I mean, obviously, though the shooter at the end was obviously Dark Army. You know, they saw the bolo and went to go kill Cisco, but that didn't work. There's a part of me... Hang on, let me check. Who actually... Okay. So it was Dom that shot the guy. So they all got... Now, well, okay. we don't know what happened to Cisco and Darlene. We don't know what happened to Cisco and Darlene, but we at least know that Dom is okay, and she seemed to be walking okay as well. So I don't think she got shot at all. And she took down the shooter there. And now all the FBI agents are there. I'm going to... I don't know. I don't think that Darlene was killed. I would imagine if she got injured, which I doubt she did, but if she did get injured, then it was, only a minor shot, basically. A minor injury. Cisco's kind of up in the air. I would say he could be dead, but I'm not sure. It's entirely possible. That one is more up in the air as to whether or not he's alive. So we'll have to see next episode. And if you were to ask who's the person on the cell phone, I don't know. I imagine that Tyrell is still alive. And not just because, I don't want to say that and be like, oh, well, because he's still on the main cast list, Because he has done stuff this season, without being part of the actual story. So I'm going to say he's not dead, but the thing is that we've also had moments where, from the get-go when it's like, oh, Mr. Robot shot Tyrell, I always question, okay, you said you shot him. You never said you killed him. Elliot just sort of makes that conclusion, I guess. So I am going to say Tyrell is still alive, and that is terrifying, Mr. Robot. And I like they also, Mr. Robot wanted to go home for some reason. There was something back at the house that he needed, but what is it? We don't know. So, and what's the problem with the house? I don't know. I don't know what the problem is with the house, So, because of that, I predict that we are not going to have a very lengthy discussion, because I swear this is the episode of things happening that will be explained either in the next episode or the episode after that, which I believe is the season 2 finale. So we can talk, but it's going to be a lot of matter-of-fact sort of talking. So the first thing we do have is the Congo and the Power being the most powerful person in the room, which is very interesting. First off, we do have the whole thing of basically giving China the Congo. I do like, I like, first off, I like seeing more of Colby. For someone who was sort of like a major player in the first episode, he really took a back seat after the DAT file stuff. So it's nice to see him and how he actually is, what he actually does at E Corp. Because that was the thing, was that he was CTO, but then the position, Tyrell wanted that job, but then it went to Scott, and the both of them have been very absent this season, So, I don't know, did they reinstate Colby at his job, or does he have another job or something? I'm not really sure. But he still has enough sway to go to the president and tell the ambassador to basically look the other way with China going into the Congo, So that's pretty interesting. We'll have to see. I mean, I assume that's part of... Obviously, that's part of... That's obviously part of White Rose's plan. I couldn't think of his name for a sec. That's obviously part of White Rose's plan, is to take the Congo. We still don't really know anything else about the plant and everything, but well. So we still don't fully know what do they need with the Congo. So maybe we'll get more of that later. let's see. And then we did get, I like that little talk, about like, okay, why does Philip Price do this? And I like how he says, like, I've always asked myself, am I the most powerful person in the room? And the answer is almost always yes. However, there are 2 rooms where he is not the most powerful person. I assume at least one of those rooms is the room with White Rose. White Rose. I feel like I didn't say White Rose earlier. I don't know, and I can't check the tapes. Oh well. White Rose. I do know the name. I feel like I said Whitehall, but I don't think I actually did, but now I'm doubting myself. Oh well. But, interesting thing there, this sort of God complex. I mean, literally, he says, this purpose given to us by God after he created us in his image. It's like, that, I think, is the definition of a God complex, specifically. To be the most powerful person in the room. It's characters like this that sometimes you look at these characters. Sometimes you look at these characters and be like, man, I want them to be knocked down a peg, Like, I want this guy to meet, like, the doctor or someone. Like, I want someone to come in and knock these fuckers down a peg, So, and his whole God complex, definitely, it's like, let's bring that down, So, of course, for all his power, being the most powerful man in the world, he still is dealing with the 5-9 attack. So, okay, so we have Elliot trying to find Terrell, which was interesting. I did like that. He also got a call, and all he heard was just heavy breathing, but he didn't hear, he didn't actually hear Terrell. But it was at that moment that Mr. Robot disappeared, which is interesting. Which, honestly, it really does feel like they are 2 separate people, where it feels like Mr. Robot really is a ghost, where, like, as soon as, he gets the call and he realizes Mr. Robot is gone, is he afraid? Is he trying to stay away from that, It really does feel like, it feels like you could legitimately separate the 2 of them into 2 people, And I also get a bit of that sense when, when Angela's talking about him, where it's like, you can't work with him. Don't let yourself think that you can work with him. But that's the thing, is that he honestly, like, this episode made it so clear. It's like, no, these are 2 separate people. But the problem is, they are still one person. They both are Elliot Alderson, So, like, what? It's such a weird thing that you almost have to remind yourself that they are one person, Despite the fact that they are, basically 2 separate halves of Elliot's mind. But that is him, So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, that whole thing, and then they did end up finding it. Well, first off, Elliot threw away Pringles. The fuck? Like, put it in a container or something. Don't just throw perfectly good Pringles away. What the hell, man? But I like how he made this super antenna, basically, to piggyback off of other Wi-Fi. I thought that was very clever. Like, this fun little, like, MacGyver situation to end up doing this. And I like the whole thing of, like, using the NYPD to track the phone and stuff and sending over the fax. I love how he says the only people in the world to still use fax is the cops, I mean, that's the thing. Alright, confession time, although I'm sure some of you know this, but I'm going to go ahead and confess my age. I'm 23 years old. I was born in 1997, which means I'm coming up on being 24 years old. But right now, I'm 23 years old. I don't think I've ever legitimately seen a fax machine in use. Like, I think fax machines are before my time, you know? So I just want to make that clear, you know? It's like, now I know what a fax machine is, you know? There's one thing, I don't know, like, how to put this. I guess I feel like I know some older technologies more than other people my age, you know? Like, if you say something like a fax machine, I know what a fax machine is. Like, but I mean, I've gone to school with people. I mean, this was a while ago when I actually was in school. But I would go to school with people who I swear they wouldn't have known what a fax machine was, you know? I knew someone who couldn't read an analog clock. That's nothing against them. They just couldn't, you know? They didn't have an analog clock, which is, you know, whatever. If you don't have an analog clock, you don't have an analog clock. But I have an analog clock. I don't know where I was going with that. Because I just immediately thought, I was like, well, it could just be possible no one has an analog clock. I do have an analog clock. I don't really use it, though. I guess I mostly use digital, but The point I'm making is that was a very interesting scene, finding Terrell. And they did end up finding where the phone was at that house. And all we know is that the guy says that Terrell wouldn't be making a call from there. Was that Terrell's house, or was that someone else's house? We don't know. We'll get that later. Again, another thing that we really don't know right now. Other stuff from this episode. Darlene, I like Darlene kind of coming back down to earth, you know, and it's interesting that, you know, Cisco has to be the one to kind of bring her down. But that whole thing of, like, you know, her starting to go cold and being like, oh, well, we can't let this guy, you know, live, you know, we can't let him talk and stuff like that. And then being like, no, you can't, there's nothing you can say to justify letting him die, you know? So I do really like that, I have to say. Just all of that with, it basically is just her coming back down. And I like how she was saying, it's like, look, you know, I want to be special, but I'm not. Elliot is. You know, he's the one that did the 5/9 hack, not me. And basically, I guess coming to appreciate herself more, despite the fact that she is trying to be Elliot when she can't be Elliot, you know? And to her credit, even Elliot can't really be Elliot right now, you know? And that whole story with, you know, her other life, you know, that she could have had was interesting, which, I mean, I guess it, you know, it just sort of happens that, you know, oh, this old lady just kidnapped her and that was that. But, I don't know, it was still kind of a weird story, but I mean, it's entirely possible, so, I don't know. It was just a strange sort of story, but I get what it was, what the point of it was, so, yeah. Let's see. Other than that, I mean, we had the talk with Angela. She's going to turn herself in. Which, I mean, that is sort of what Dom was saying last time. Was like, hey, the next person that comes in, they're probably not going to be as, you know, helpful as I am. You know, they're not going to be bringing food. So Angela's saying, like, okay, basically, this agent, you know, Dom, has extended an olive branch. The next people that are gonna come for me, they're not going to be extending an olive branch. So I should take it and go. You know, so I get that. It was also interesting when, you know, she asked, you know, why did you start F Society? And he just does not have an answer because he doesn't remember starting it. He doesn't remember that stuff. And it's also interesting when she says, you know, oh, you were yelling at the people that were at that place because they couldn't see the person that you could. And he doesn't even remember that. So a time before the split between him and Mr. Robot, you know? So that's pretty crazy, you know? And then the last thing I wrote down is the FBI getting to the restaurant Again, I don't think Darlene is dead. She may be injured, but I don't think she's dead. Dom obviously is not dead. Cisco is kind of up in the air. We're going to need confirmation whether or not he's dead. But yeah, we'll just have to see. But definitely, this is the one where it's like, okay, well, it's obvious this is the Dark Army trying to get rid of Cisco after the Bolo. So, yeah. But that's basically all I got for this one. Again, it's a lot of things happening, but there's a lot of, like, you just don't have many answers for what's happening. It's just, like, things are happening and they will explain it to you at a later date, basically. So yeah, next time, hopefully we'll get a couple answers on that. So that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Mr. Robot reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.